So what are some of the reasons why the Japanese airport immigration can refuse someone, a traveler, entry into Japan? What is the history of the refugee application? Is this something that was, why was it established? Why is it that most Africans who come into Japan and apply for the refugee are rejected? So, in such instance where travels from his country gets to the immigration point and the person is told you cannot enter, the airport immigration says go back to your country. You have a return ticket. The person says I will not go back, and then the person eventually ends up being taken into a detention center. In such instances, what are the surrounding conditions? What can such persons do to be able to enter Japan?
The most important cultural thing that we foreigners should know about Japanese are the
Mm,
rules. If we obey the rules and we do what the rule says, Japanese people are a kind of people that they're really open for foreign people to, live in the community with.
we want to ask on the sense, if someone living in Africa or any part of the world is traveling to Japan for the first time, what are some of the challenges, some of the things that the person must know? Is it necessary for the person to speak some Japanese, or can she please educate or enlighten us a bit about this area? We have instances where a number of Ghanaians are traveling from Ghana and they get to Kansai Airport, and about 20 of them, only one person is allowed to enter. The rest are told to go back. So in such situations, what normally lead to that situation?
She says, especially we the Africans, our education background is very good and very educative. So it's better that we come as students, you know, steady, and then after 10 years, you are entitled to have your um, permanent visa. Being in the business for 8 to 10 years, what was some of the difficulties that she have gone through? And she was trying to tell me that an Indian cook, that client, had an accident, vehicle accident, and lost his life. So his wife and children were like dependents on this,
On the husband.
on the husband. And because the husband or the man passed away, in the Japanese law, I may put it, the wife and the family, or the rest of the family, the children, should go back to India.
With the heightened levels of anxiety among foreign nationals living in Japan, regarding the new immigration policies or the existing immigration policies, however you may choose to describe it, coupled with the ushering in of a new administration headed by Sore Daijin Sanae Takaichi, the new Japanese prime minister, in fact, the first female prime minister in the history of Japan. A number of foreign nationals in Japan are sitting on tenterhooks with some don't know what to expect. In line with this, as the leading foreign media organization or the sole African oriented media organization in Japan, Jafric Radio Extra, we have in our studios today a renowned Japanese immigration law expert, Onda Kaoru Sensei, to bring us up to speed with the new immigration policies and laws that has been bothering your mind. In fact, if you don't know what to expect or what you've been thinking about since the ushering in of Sore Daijin Sanae Takaichi's administration, the first female prime minister um, of the Republic of Japan, you don't know what to expect. And all the questions that has been bothering your mind in terms of immigration and what foreigners are supposed to do, or what is expected of foreigners, or whether there are going to be new immigration policies in the coming years or the coming weeks ahead, and what the Japanese immigration policy or the Japanese immigration service intends to do. All these questions we have in our studio an expert, someone who is delved deeper into this field and has been helping a lot of foreign nationals living in Japan to secure their visa status or whatever challenges that they go through in terms of immigration. Today, we have her in our studio to help us in the discussion and also answer all the questions. So, if you have any questions especially if you're a foreigner and you are living in Japan or you are watching us outside of Japan and you intend to one day move and live in Japan, this is the place to be today. Make sure you watch this interview to the end because a question that has been bothering your mind or someone has been thinking about something that you want to know about the immigration policies of Japan. How different is the immigration policies of Japan from the rest of the Asian countries, America, Europe, and even in Africa? She's here to do justice to all the questions. Before we continue, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. The name of the platform is Jafric Radio Extra. Like the video, share, and put your comment in the comment section if you have any questions in particular. So, without wasting much time, I'll cross over to Studio A where Popsa and Madam Onda Sensei are ready in the studio. So, Popsa, kindly take it away.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. 改めまして、先生、we welcome you to Jafric Radio Studio.
Thank you so much for a great opportunity this time.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You so much. Thank you so much.
And we also thank you so much for the good job that you're doing for foreigners living in Japan.
Yeah. Onda Sensei, hajimemashite.
はじめまして。エマニュエルさん。
はい、いつもありがとうございます。
こちらこそありがとうございます。
Yeah. So, Sensei, can you also like explain to us, to our viewers, who you are, please? Yeah.
My name is Kaoru Onda. My job is immigration lawyer. I support foreigners who living in Japan. And then my office located in Nishikasai, Edowaku, Tokyo. My job experience over 8 years.
Oh. So you've been in Kasai for over 8 years?
Yes. I handled so many countries for clients.
Oh.
Indian, Philippine, and of course African, and then Myanmar and Vietnam and Fiji. There's so many countries.
Oh, okay. So, what your clients, which in percentages, which country or nationals are more? どのぐらいのpercentage、どこの国の人たちが多いんですか？
Indian 40%, and others 60%. Any other countries.
All right. So, Sensei, before we start our conversation, I would like to, dive a little bit into your business. Well, you've been doing this business for 8 years, and 40% are, let's say, Indians, and the rest are like other. Since you started your business, what are some difficulties that you have gone through? 今までどういうような難しいこととか。
それはいっぱいあります。
例えば先生が
例えばインディアのコックさんのお父さんが交通事故で日本で亡くなりました。で、彼はワーキングビザです。コックさんのビザだから。だけど彼は日本で奥さんとお嬢さんと一緒に暮らしてたんですね。で、メインのワーキングビザの方が亡くなっちゃうと、ディペンデントの家族たちは日本に住むことができません。だけどもお嬢さんが日本で生まれたですね。で、日本での生活しか知らないんです。で、インドにはもう帰れないんですよね。なのでお母さんとお嬢さんを日本で住むためにロングタームビザを取ったりとかしました。5ヶ月ぐらいかかったかな。
I was asking Onda Sensei, like, being in the business for 8 to 10 years, what was some of the difficulties that she, have gone through? And she was trying to tell me that a couple years ago there was an Indian cook that a client, an Indian cook client, and that client had an accident, vehicle accident, and lost his life. So his wife and children were like dependent on this
On the husband.
on the husband, and because the husband or the man passed away, in the Japanese law, I may put it, the wife and the family, or the rest of the family, the children, should go back to India. And the children were born here in Japan, and they don't know India. They've never been there. They have no, family there. That was another. It was a very big problem for her to,
A challenge.
a challenge for her to go through, and also she was able to get a visa for that family, right?
Yes.
Wow. I mean,
彼
since
女はすっごい一生懸命勉強している子で、将来の夢は大使館、エンバシーで働きたいって、今大学に通っています。
the girl is a very hard-working girl, and she studied a lot, and her dream was to become someone who works at the embassy. So she's now in the university, doing her best too. Wow.
Wow.
So much.
That's amazing.
That means Kaoru Sensei or Onda Sensei has, good mindset of helping foreign people to stay in Japan legally. Ne?
そうです、レガルに。
Ne. Thank
Yes,
you so
yes.
much. So, okay, Sensei, also I would like to ask a few questions, based on Japanese culture, for foreigners to be able to live or stay or have a good life in Japan. I think we should understand, the Japanese culture so that we can mingle in peace with the Japanese people. So, are there some culture differences or cultural things that you can, show us or tell us that foreign people can, learn or study so that we can live in a good way with Japanese people?
そうだな、日本人はもともと外国人に対して受け入れはそんなに悪くしやすい、とても寛大だと思うんですね。ただ日本人の性質上とてもルールが大好きで、例えば時間を守る、電車のサブウェイなんかも1分も遅れない、1分遅れたら1分遅れですって
出ますね。
でもあんなの考えられませんでしょ、それぐらいルールが好きです、でルールに縛りすぎ あまりにもルールが多くて日本人自身もルールに縛られすぎるところがあるんだけれども、ただ、外国人の方もそのルールを守るっていうことをちょっと理解してもらいたい、全部が全部じゃなくてもいいんだけども、でも基本的なところ時間を守るっていうのは日本人はとっても特にうるさいんですよね、なのでそこだけはそういう日本人なんだっていうところを理解してほしいんですね、あと夜は住宅街なんかで住んでいるところなんかは夜は騒がない、パーティーはめったに10時以降は特に
そうですね。
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 これはもしするのであれば、ご近所にちょっとお声掛けをしてもらえると、ちょっと違うと思います、
Right.
和を大切にするので、何か自分がやるときには周りにちょっと一言言ってあげると、これでだいぶ違います。例えば、お家を引っ越しをしますでしょ。で引っ越しをしたときに2軒隣近所隣前後ろ、必ず私引っ越しましたって言うと、みんな違うんです。
そうですね。
それは和を大切にしている証拠なんですね。ルールも同じことです。
Sensei is trying to say, the most important cultural thing that we foreigners should know about Japanese are the rules. Japanese are kind of people that they really respect rules and they really dive into rules, you know. So, for example, even if a train is going to be late like 1 minute or so, you can see that they projected like this train will be late 1 minute because
Yeah.
rules is very important to them. And so if we obey the rules and we do what the rule says, Japanese people are a kind of people that they really are open for foreign people to, live in the community with. So also one thing they really in Japanese we say wa. It means the area that you are or like the community should be very tight. So in case even if you move to a new community, your neighbor, you, your neighbor around you, the house in front, side, and behind, you should go and then tell them that, oh, I'm a new person, introduce yourself to them, and then everything will be calm.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, in Japan, their rules are, let's say, the number one culture aspect that they want we foreign people to obey or do. Wow. その他にこのルールとかの他に何を外国人が、気をつけなかったらいけないとかありますか？
あと挨拶ですね。
挨拶。
日本人はとっても挨拶を大切にするので、親しくなった方とか近所の人には、おはようございますとか、あと、こんにちはとか、ちょっと声で、はいだけでもいいんだけども、もうはいだけでもいい。それでも声かけると全然日本人は仲良くなります。
なるほど。
それとあと日本は皆さんポップさんもご存知の通り、エマニさんもご存知の通り、とても清潔好きです。とても綺麗です。自分の家も、例えば、駅のトイレだって、デパートのスーパーのトイレでもとっても綺麗だと思います。それと同じようにとにかく綺麗にする、ゴミをポッと捨てない、必ずゴミバッグトラッシュボックスに入れるとか、あとは家のゴミ捨てですね。それも週に毎日ゴミを捨てる日にちって決まってると思うんですけど、そうきちんとそれを出すっていうこと、あと自分の借りているレンタルで借りている家でさえもきれいに使う。
やっぱりね、
これは日本人はとってもきれい好きなので、これはそれを守らないととても嫌がりますし、信用もなくなります。
Okay. Well, she said also greetings. Aisatu. Ne? As you know, Aisatu is very, very, very important in Japan. So Ohayo gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa. Sometimes even oyasumi nasai to your neighbor, ne? Is very important.
Right.
And also cleanness. Clean. To keep the community clean. You don't just dump your bola rubbish, just like that. You have to obey the rules that says, let's for example, Sunday you have to dump this dust. Monday, this is what we have to take. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. If we obey all those type of rules now, it will also help us, to live in peace with the community people. And one thing that she also said is, be nice to your community. Don't be so noisy, because Japanese people really don't like noise.
They don't like noise.
Yeah, like let's say like after 10 p.m. You open your radio set, making noise, dancing party. Now, it's not acceptable. So it's part of if you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do, so that we all can live peace in the community. So I
So,
think
Popsa, let me come in a little. So, Onda Sensor has touched on a very very key or very very important aspect of the Japanese culture in relation to foreigners. I always make reference to this. I remember the 2018 FIFA World Cup. At that time, I was still in Ghana. I was watching a game involving Japan and I've forgotten the name of the country. After the World Cup, I mean, about 90% of the world was surprised about Japan. That after the World Cup, where the Japanese supporters were, when the match finished, when the game finished, and the cameras were supposed to have left the field, the Japanese supporters remained in the stands and picked every single garbage or rubbish
garbage, yeah.
or piece of paper or whatever it is and gathered them before they left. And that alone became a talking point. And that was a very, very great exposition of the Japanese culture to the entire world because the World Cup is, for me, one of the biggest global events where, like, we have a lot of millions of eyeballs watching at a particular time. So that particular incident at the World Cup was a great reminder to the rest of the world about how Japan pays attention to cleanliness,
Cleanest, yeah.
right? So if you're a foreigner and you probably saw that on your television screens and you were not in Japan then and you were coming to Japan, that probably gave you an idea of what you expect when you come to Japan that you don't later about like we do in Africa, like Ghana and the rest. Secondly, about the noise making. Right now, the diplomatic spark that is ongoing between China and Japan. If you go on typical Japanese social media space and you read some of the commentary from some Japanese citizens, what they normally talk about is that they don't care so much about the money that the Chinese tourists are bringing in, but rather they value the peace and the calmness that they enjoy in Japanese society. So if the Chinese tourists are bringing in the money, but they come to disrupt the Japanese culture, which is the value that they place on keeping the environment very quiet and serene, which they feel that the Chinese people disrupt that, then they are not okay with the Chinese people coming into Japan. So those, in terms of the cultural aspect, these aspects are very very key for the Japanese people. That's what I wanted to chip in a little.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. So it's up to us, we foreigners, see how to cope with this unique nationals. I mean, the Japanese people. You know,
Yeah,
they say if you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do.
do what the Romans do.
So we are here in Japan. We should obey and do what the Japanese people does because this is what they've done, and they have been able to, maintain this beautiful country. So we don't need to come and, destroy it. So
Yeah, we
that
shouldn't.
one,
And folks, one other thing that think about it. I'm sure if you're a foreigner living in Japan, probably you've seen this. How do you feel when you wake up at 5 a.m., sometimes 4:30 a.m., 5:30 a.m., and you find senior citizens with pickets on the street picking
the
the
gomi.
cigarette leftovers and then the gummy and they are having in their hand the small gummy fukuro and then
Gomi bako.
they are picking all of them small small. These are senior citizens who are supposed to be relaxing or resting, but because they've been trained mentally to pay attention to the environment in which they live in, they spend valuable time every morning to clean their cities, their area, to make sure that the place is always looking sharp and clean for people. So these are very very like important cultures that we foreigners living in Japan must learn and coexist. You see, that's why the prime minister of Sanai Takaichi has launched that particular ministry, orderly coexistence society with foreigners. So if you come to Japan, live orderly, live according to the Japanese style. Don't bring the Ghana attitude or the Nigerian attitude or your country's attitude into Japan and just eat food and then throw it anyhow. And yeah, so that is very very unacceptable behavior from foreigners. I don't know if you have if we can transition into the law aspect, or if there are some few
Yeah,
other stuff.
yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on to the main topic. So I hand it over to you, Dr. Achirku.
But I was named after a medical doctor, so you are not too far from from right.
I've done a lot of research about you, so I know what I'm talking about.
Where you probably heard the doctor from is it's from a wrong source. So
Okay.
yes, so under sensei, first we want to ask under sensei, if someone living in Africa or any part of the world is traveling to Japan for the first time, and the person gets to border pass. Border pass is normally where the airport immigration control is. What are some of the things the person have to know when the person gets to the border pass area to be able to secure passage into the immigration or the border pass and enter Japan? What are some of the challenges, some of the things that the person must know? Is it necessary for the person to speak some Japanese, or can she please educate or enlighten us a bit about this area?
日本に入るためのなんか必要なことものこれが知っといた方が有利っていうのなんかありますか？
それはビザのことですか？
Are you talking in the terms of visa or
No, no, no. I'm talking about entry, like the boarding pass. Like you have arrived at Narita, the boarding pass, where they vet you before they stamp in for you to enter the country. What are some of the things that the person should know about?
これはもうビザとかじゃなくてもう
あ
国に
入るとき、
入るとき
大体ガーナで大丈夫なものと日本でダメなものってありますでしょ、だからそれを持ってきちゃったりするのはダメですよね。
なるほど。
そう
Things that Japan, if you enter Japan with, it's not allowed, or yeah, you don't need to bring that type of things into the country.
例えばタバコとかなんかありますよね。薬
For example,
メディシンとかも
cigarettes or some bad drugs, plants or stuff like that. Yeah, are things that you cannot bring it or enter Japan with.
So what are some of the reasons why the Japanese airport immigration can refuse someone, a traveler, entry into Japan?
日本の空港にいるミグレーションのオフィサーが何を入ろうとする人がやればを持てれば拒否されるんですか？おその人が知っておいた方が有利になる。
いやちゃんとビザを持っていてパスポートも本物だったら止められることはないと思います。
If you have your visa and a real type of visa in your passport, every person is entitled to enter the country.
But we have instances where a number of Ghanaians are traveling from Ghana and they get to Kansai airport, and I mean about 20 of them, only one person is allowed to enter, the rest are told to go back. So in such situations, what normally lead to that situation?
意味わかる？
わかる。多分それはビザって、ガーナの日本大使館でちゃんと出してるものなので、それは OK なんですよ。でそれがダメだってことは、何か日本のイミグレーションで、例えばインバイターの人がギャランターの人に何かしらレコードがあって、でそれも全部日本のイミグレーションチェックするので、そこのところでアンマッチがあったのか、もしくはそのさっきブリンギングス
持ってるもの
でもありますよね。
Okay, Sensei is trying to say that maybe the guarantor who guaranteed their visa for them might have an issue from the past. They check all those type of stuff. The ground immigration people, not the embassy people. After receiving your visa from the embassy and you enter, the ground immigration people to have their job to do, they check the visa, everything. So I think she's trying to say that maybe the guarantor at that time has an issue before. That is why they were not allowed to enter.
Okay. So, in such instance where someone travels from his country, gets to the immigration point. When I say border pass, I'm referring to the airport immigration, the border pass, and the person is told you cannot enter. The immigration in the airport immigration says go back to your country. You have a return ticket. The person says I'll not go back, and then the person eventually ends up being taken into a detention center. There are typical cases like that, as we have now. In such instances, what are the surrounding conditions? What can such persons do to be able to enter Japan? Is it that they don't have any option, they have to go back, or if they're able to secure the services of an immigration lawyer like Onda Sensei herself, she can assist such persons enter the country?
それとても難しいです。もう空港のイミグレーションでディテンションセンターに入っちゃったらもうほぼ帰るしかない。
She's trying to say at the airport, if you are taken to the detention, mostly that means that even no lawyer can help. You have to go back to your country.
なぜならばディテンションセンターに入ると自分で電話ができないんです。
The reason is
外
why
の人に。
if you are put into the detention, you are not allowed to make any phone calls. So there's no way that you can, get access to
そう
people
アクセスできない。
to help.
ですで本当に帰るときに飛行機に乗る前に電話ができる状況があるだけだから、アクセスできない外の人間と。
The only access that you might have to, talk to someone is when you are going back into the plane. It's where you can have access of your phone that you may use.
The reason why I'm asking that is that we've had cases where some nationals, some of them are Ghanaians, like 15 of them, currently in detention in Osaka here, Osaka immigration. And I mean, we know some Ghanaians who have permanent residence here who have been given the opportunity to serve as guarantors for them to go and release them, have them enter the country legally, and then these people serve as their guardians. In that cases, do the people is their visa still valid, or if someone, I'm trying to ask if someone serves as a guarantor for someone manages to serve as a guarantor for such a person who has been put into detention, and the person manages to enter the country, is the visa that the person used to enter the country still valid, or the person is staying in the country based on the guarantorship of the person who got him or her out of the detention center?
意味わかる？
わかんない。
わかんない。OK。そのディテンションに入れさせた人によって外にいる人にガランタ保証人、身元保証人をできたりするの。で、例えば身元保証人がなってその人が外に出れた時の外に出れた人のビザというのはビザ資格というのは自分が日本に入る時のビザなのか、その身元保証人になった人のためのビザになっているのか、どれですか？
その自分のビザです。
自分のビザ。
はい。
Ɔse ɛyɛ onipa ko no visa na ɔde fie baeɛ no, the visa that the person brought from his or her country no, ɛna he or she is going to use.
ギャランターはあくまでギャランターだけです。
The guarantor is just a guarantor. In case of anything, that he is the person that they will call and ask the person's information or about him or her from the guarantor.
Okay.
Or to the guarantor, yeah.
Okay. So we proceed. So what are some of the visa options. Can Onda Sensei run us through some of the visa options that are available for foreigners
Foreign
who
peoples.
intend to
Okay.
enter into Japan? For instance, the work visa, special skills visa, and all that. If she can run us a little bit, give us a little bit of education
Okay.
around those areas.
Alright, Sensei, お願いします。はい。
ビザの種類ですよね。
そうですね。はい。
日本に外国の方が来たいっていう場合には、2つ大きく分かれていて、1つは短い間に来たい人がいるでしょ、長い人、長くもう1年も2年もいたいって人もいます。でまず短いショートタイムで来たい人には、これは、いくつか短期で、短期滞在っていうビザがあるんです。テンポラリービザです。いろいろあるんだけども、8種類あるんだけども、その中で一番、メインのものはテンポラリービザと言います。でこのテンポラリービザっていうのは、例えば、サイトシーイングですね、ツーリストで来たりとか、あとビジネス、ビジネスでもこれは仕事をするんじゃなくて、to attend a meeting ミーティングに出たりとか、あと現地の施設フィールドビジットとかの場合はビジネスビザです。だいたい3ヶ月ぐらい。であとは日本に家族がいますとか、親戚がいます、あと友達がいます、っていう時に、リレーティブっていうので来ます。Visiting acquaintance and relative。これも30 days ぐらいかな。30 days, 90 days。
Well, Sensei is trying to say that we have two types of categories of visa. We have the short term and then we have the long term. And the first visa, it's they have like 8 types of visa. And we're going to talk about the main two. That's the temporary visa. And then under the temporary visa, we have tourism and also we have business. And that business visa, it's not a business visa that you are coming to do business here in Japan, but a visa that allows you to have a business meetings in Japan. Yes. はい、次お願いします。
はい。あと長くいたい場合には、レジデンスステータス、在留資格っていうものになります。これは長く入れます。6ヶ月とか1年とか3年5年。
Okay.
あとはパーマネントでもいることができる。
Okay. And also, if you want to stay in Japan for a longer period, we have the long-term visa, and that one can be like a year, or 2 or 3, and upwards. Yeah.
So before we continue, I want to draw your attention or remind you that if you're a foreigner living in Japan and you have any immigration challenge, in terms of your residence renewal or visa application, permanent resident visa application, spouse of a Japanese national, work visa, any legal challenge or immigration law of such, please feel free to contact the office of Madam Onda Sensei for assistance. Her office is at Edogawaku Nishikasai in Tokyo. As we go on with the program, I will give her contact details on the screen so that you should be able to contact her to be able to help you. She's an expert when it comes to this field. Pope sir, please continue.
Okay. So 先生、次お願いします。はい。
で在留資格の場合は、目的、日本にいたい目的がありますよね。例えば私は日本で働きたいとか、私は日本人と結婚したから旦那さんや奥さんと一緒に日本でファミリーと一緒に暮らしたいっていう人と、あと日本で勉強したいっていう人もいますよね。でそういう人たちのためにいくつか、在留資格があります。
Okay. The next one is people who has like get married or like students or like open his own company. They have another section that if you give your reason, the reason that you want to live in Japan for that long period, if your reasons are accurate, you'll be able to have your visa as well. はい。
はい。 で日本で働くためのビザについてお話ししますね。これは、18種ワーキングビザについて話しますね。ワーキングビザは、18 types あります。18種類あります。
Really?
いっぱいあります。
80?
はい。
Wow.
その中でも、メインで一番多く、人気のある在留資格をお話ししますね。
Wow. Hey viewers, listen. I'm shocked here. In Japan, they have 18 different types of working visa in Japan.
18. Okay. Not 80. Not 80.
No.
18. Okay.
18.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's now going to dive into the most popular ones, and then we talk
Popular
about.
one. Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
Sensei.
Okay.
で一つは、長いんですけど、エンジニアスペシャリスト in the Humanity International Service Visa があります。
Hey.
これはどういうものかというと、IT エンジニアとか、あとトランスレーターとか、そういったものの人たちが使うホワイトカラーの仕事です。
Okay. All right then. There's one they call it the white collar visa. And this white collar visa is for like me, engineer, specialist in humanities and international services. That one's for like the IT guys, those type of high profile people like me. Those type of visa.
Okay.
Yeah. Is the one that we call the engineer specialist in humanity, international services, etc.
あともう一つはハイスキルプロフェッショナル。これはハイスキルポイントカルキュレーションテーブルっていうのがあって、ポイントで決まっていくんですね。
Point.
ポイント。
There's another one.
例えば、エデュケーションバックグラウンド、デグリーなのか、マスターなのか、でポイントが変わっていく。あとインカムイヤリーが、1000万以上、10ミリオン、オーバー10ミリオンとか、アンダー10ミリオンとか、あとは年齢です。エイジ、20なのか、30なのか、40なのかでポイントが変わっていきます。
これが the high skill professional.
はい、そうです。
The second one is the high skill professional visa. And that one, it depends on your annual income. Okay, it's annual income. For example, your annual income should be, we have the categories of a 10 million yen above and also
Above.
below 10 million yen. It depends on your income, and then depends on the visa that they will issue to you. Or it can be your background, like education background. Either you have a degree, or you are a doctor, or you have your MB, in education. It depends on that, and then they can give you a visa. It's all included in that 18 different type of visa for the working visa. Wow. 先生お願いします。
次はエンターテイナーです。これはアクターとかミュージシャンとか、そういった人たち、あとスポーツ選手、バスケットボールプレイヤーとか。
Okay.
これエンターテイナーになります。
Okay. And also they have the entertainment or the entertainer visa, like a musician, actor, sports, a player, like a baseball player or basketball player, soccer player. We have all these people are also guarded, or they are under the category for entertainment. For example, if you go to like Bayside, our models, they are all under the entertaining visa. Okay. お願いします。
次はビジネスマネージャービです。経営管理と言います。これは日本で会社を作ってビジネスをしたい、自分のオンビジネスをしたいっていう人のためのビザです。
Okay. And also they have the business manager visa. This one are for the people who have their own companies. You run your own company, for, let's say a restaurant, or you have your own IT company, or you have, For example, before I became a Japanese, like Bayside is my own company. All those companies that people that their company issue them visa, they have their own category that we call it the business management visa.
Visa.
And what are the new rules
Yes, そうです。
for them?
Last October, the rule was changed.
The rules has changed.
Change.
Okay.
And then 例えば、キャピタル、
Uh-huh.
キャピタルが、5ミリオンが増えて30ミリオンになりました。
Wow. You know, to
How
be
much?
able-
30 million?
yeah, I'm coming to explain. You know, this business management visa, before you can own a company, you know, your capital was only 5 million yen. But since October, it has changed. It's going to change, or it has changed already. More kawata.
変わった
It has changed from October. You have to have 30 million yen as a capital before you can, you know, get your own company or run your own company. That means, you know, the rank has risen, yeah, from 5 to 30 million. So if you don't have this, what happens to you? こういう3000万がなかったらどういうふうになるんですか？このビザ持ってる
このビザ
人たちは。
取れないです、3000万なかったら。
Wow.
うん
今まで持った人も
コンディションです。今まで500万円で会社作っていた人は、一応3年以内にキャピタルを増やす。だけどちょっとこれは今いろいろ検討してるみたいですけど。
Okay. Okay. You know, Achoku, this business management visa, before it was 5 billion yen in your capital so that your company will issue you visa. And now they have changed from October. So they're gonna give these people who have already, you know, have their company here in Japan. They give them 3 years to increase their capital to 30 million. Within these 3 years, if you're not able to increase your capital to 30 million, automatically that means you are out of the business. There is one French guy that I know. He's an actor in Bayside, and he has his own company, and his family, everybody is depending on this man. So the other day we were talking, and he said maybe he has to go back to France because with his age and with this 30 million, 3 years advance of, you know, or time range for him to raise a 30 million yen, he cannot afford. So this is a very huge blow to foreign people. Yeah, especially people who have their own companies. And there are a lot of our African or black people who are really doing their best. They have their own company, you know, working hard to have living here. But from 5 million yen to 30 million yen, I don't know how some of us are going to survive this.
So I'm sure that you're a business owner, foreigner owning a business in Japan. I'm 100% sure that you didn't know about this. So this is the more reason why you need to stay glued to Jafric Radio Extra on the social media space, where we bring you exclusive content like this. And Pops, staying a little bit on that, is there any differences between company owners like that who are married to Japanese nationals? For instance, if you are a spouse of a Japanese national and you open a company, and is this applicable to you? Because previously, the little I know about the law was that if you were a spouse of a Japanese national, the capital that was required of you to open a company was much less than if you are just a foreigner and you enter into the country and you want to open the company. Well, the little knowledge I know was that the capital requirement or the seed capital were not the same. They were a bit different. That has there been any difference? Has there been any changes to that law, or that one still remains?
先生、意味、うん。
これは経営管理のビザを取るためのコンディションなんですよ。だから、パーマネントとか日本人とか、あと今これから出ますけどロングタームとか、そういったビザの人が会社を作った時はこのコンディションはない。対象外なんですよ。
Okay, so people with, let's say, long term or permanent for now, and with Japanese spouse, you are
exempted from this law.
exempted from this
This law.
エグゼンプションじゃないよ。対象外。
対象外。Yeah.
免除じゃない。エグゼンプションじゃない。
No, exempted, like 関係ない。
関係ない。
So if you are not, we don't fall under these categories. You are, and your company guarantee you, to be able to live here in Japan.
No, Pope-san, my question wasn't clear. I'm talking about the existence of your business. So I'm using myself as an example that I am married to a Japanese national, and based on that, I register a company. What I know previously, if I'm wrong, maybe Sensei can educate me on that. That if because I am a spouse of a Japanese national, the seed capital that was required of me to open the company was different from someone who had just come into Japan and wants to open a company to stay here. So I'm talking about the seed capital requirement. So if I'm married to a Japanese national, does it mean, and my seed capital, let's say, the requirement was 1 million yen, and now it is going to change to that 30 million yen. Do I have to raise my capital from the 1 million yen to the 30 million yen? If I'm not able to do that, does it affect my company? Does it mean that the license of my company is
no. For example, to open a company in Japan for a Japan national or like with Japanese spouse is 300万。で今500万になったよね。And now it's moved to 5 million yen. You are still you have to stay with your 5 million yen.
5 million, so it's not affected.
Yeah, it doesn't affect. No.
Okay.
This particular visa section, it's a visa. It's a section that you have no Japanese spouse or long term or whatever. This company is
so
guaranteeing you a visa. You don't have a Japanese family. For example, me, Nanayao, I'm on my own. I have Bayside. I don't have a Japanese wife. I don't have any Japanese spouse or nothing. It's Bayside that is sponsoring me visa. And I used to have, my capital was 5 million yen. Okay? So, from October that this law has changed,
So that is where the question I want you to ask and said this, because this explanation that you are giving, you are giving this explanation already. So based on what you were about to say, legally, when a new law is made, right, in the normal legal parlance, what I know from Africa and my few legal friends, when you make laws are not supposed to take retroactive effect, right? What retroactive effect means that those who have already secured their visa or whatever based on the law, the pre-existing law,
previous law, yeah.
You do not go, and then the law does not go back to go and affect them. So doesn't Onda Sensei think that making the law and saying that you are giving the people a 3-year period to raise or upgrade their capital, their seed capital to 30 million, isn't it taking a retrospective effect? Is it fair in her opinion?
普通はカピタルを上げるのは新しい人が上げるの。それはやらなきゃいけないけれども、もともとその会社を経営してた人がもともとの金額のなんていうの、そのカピタルのままでやらなきゃいけないけれども、日本の場合は そういう人たちもまたその3000万円に上げなきゃいけない。
そう
それは良くないんじゃないですかと彼は今聞いてる。
うん、まあそうなんだけど、ビザのコンディションなので、いい悪いというか、ビザのコンディションとか。
She's trying to say
だから多分そこら辺はこれからもなんか検討してるみたいで、ビザの申請するときにキャピタル3000万だけど、この中で自分が出したのはいくらかっていうのを出すんですよね。今までそれはなかったんですよ。500万は全部自分でだったんだけど、3000万は大きいので、その中のいくらなのかっていうのがあるので、どれぐらい新規じゃないですよ。今持ってる人については500万からどれぐらい自分で上げるのか、3000万まで上げなきゃいけないのかっていうのはまだ決まってないです。入管の方で決まってないです。ただこれから新しく会社を建てる人は3000万の資本金の会社じゃないと会社を作ることはできるけど、ビジネスビザはもらえないよっていう話なんです。
Okay. She's trying to say that 30 million is for the fresh people, okay? And from that old people, let's say the people who had their company before, and then the law has changed. For them, now there's going to be a new column in the application. So you write in or you fill in how much that you can invest to that to your old money
your old seed capital.
Your seed capital. Your seed capital. So yeah, you have to write the amount of money that you can add to your seed capital, and then they are still negotiating. Yeah, it's not 100% decided, especially for those old or the people who already have companies. But from October onwards, people who want to have a new company, no matter who you are, you need that
30 million
yen.
So the law has already taken effect.
Yes, from October.
From October. Wow. So what that means is that if you are watching us from outside of Japan, and you don't know in Japanese currency terms, if you don't know what 30 million yen translates to, then we are talking in the region of around 190,000 US dollars. 190,000 US dollars. That's how much you need to start a business or a company in Japan to register to be able to have your legal status in Japan as a business owner or business operator. So that is a major shift from major shift from the previous law that existed. This one is opinion, not from the legal point of view. Does Onda Sensei, this one, she is free to give her opinion. If she doesn't want to answer, then she can skip. Does she think it has anything to do with the popular opinion among some Japanese nationals about the invasion of the Chinese people in Japan and how they are owning businesses and buildings and all that? It's an opinion, so you can tell her whether she can choose to answer it or not based on what the impact they can have on her work, on her job.
この質問はよかったら答えてください。It's an option だから。今回のこの趣旨は本当は他の普通の外国人じゃなくて日本中国人のためにこういうふうにしたんじゃないかなと思ってるらしいんですけど、あなたはどう思いますか？
まさにそうだと思います、私も。
She also thinks it's because of the Chinese.
Okay. So is she done with the various types of visas? Can we proceed on?
ビザの修理ってもうこれで終わりですか？
あと技能があります。
No, we're still on it. This
Okay.
one was under the number 1 category. Now we are
Okay.
going to the second category
Okay.
because it has 18 types.
あと、ス
Okay.
キルズビザがあります。
Skill.
スキルズ。これはシェフです。レストランのシェフです。
Okay. So now we're going to move to the skills. Skills
Okay.
visa. That one is for cooks, especially.
Okay.
Okay.
例えば、インディアンレストランのコックさんとか。
For like, for example, a Ghana restaurant or Indian restaurant, Chinese restaurant, Malaysia restaurant, Nigerian restaurant, those type of visa, no?
あとは特定技能があります。スペシフィッ
そして
クスキルズも。
そのクックさんたちは、
コックさん、うん
コックさんは大体何年のビザもらうんですか？
1年、3年、5年です。
ああ、みんなと同じ。
みんなと同じ。
Okay.
うん
All right. I was trying to ask her about how many years that their visa range is, but she said it's the same: 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years.
で
Okay.
ちなみにコックさんも永住分かれます。
Oh, and also, if you're a cook, you can also apply for a permanent.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
次に特定技能があります。新しい資格ですね。
This is a new visa section that has been approved. It's called
Oh, okay.
the specific skills workers. ね。
Workers Yes ブルーワーカーですね。
これは何？ What is this?
これは16種類の仕事があります。例えば、ケアギバー、ビルマネージクリーニングマネージメント、あとコンストラクチャー、アグリカルチャー、レストラン、あとはカーメカニック、あとはフードファクトリーとか、そういったものがあります。ブルーワーカーですね。レイバージョブ。
Labor. Okay. This new section, visa section that has been approved, the specific skill workers. It has 16 types of business. For example, like caregivers, building cleaning management, construction, agriculture, restaurants, car, machinery, and food factory, etc. Those type of people, their visa too is called the specific skills working visa.
でこれは特徴としては、ジャパニーズランゲージテストとスキルズテスト、このエグザミネーションをパスするとほぼ取れます。
And before you can get this specific skill working visa, you need to have a Japanese language certificate in Nankyu.
N4
N4. You need the N4 is not difficult. You need the N4 certificate, and then
スキルズテスト
the skill examination. So you go through all this test. If you clear these two tests, then you can have this visa for you to also work in Japan.
でこれ面白いことに特定技能のとさっき言ったエンジニアビザですよね。これ似てるというか反対なんですよ。要するに、エンジニアスペシフィックインフューマニティビザはホワイトカラーですよね。特定技能はレイバーロー、レイバーワークとなんです。で、エンジニアビザは大学を卒業しているもしくは、10年以上のジョブエクスペリエンスが必要。
そのスペシャルあれですかね。
エンジニアビザね。ヒューマニティ、エンジニアスペシャリストインヒューマニティインターナショナルサービスビザ。
So okay, you know this engineer visa and the special skill visa, it's not similar. It's opposite. Yeah, you need special skills before you can get this special skills working visa. Ne? As maybe as we said before, care means like homes. Those old people, no, they are how to take care of them. No, you need all those skills before you'll be able to pass the examination and then have this visa to work.
特定技能は 別に大学出てなくてもいいってこと。
Uh-huh. And with the difference, another difference is that with this special skills working, even if you have not been to university, all right, you'll be able to enroll into this category. But with the engineering, you need to have your graduation from the university
from the
before,
university.
yeah, before you can apply for this visa for the engineering. Yeah. Hey.
でこれでワーキングビザはおしまいです。
So this is the categories for the working visa. Wow.
Okay. So she's done with the various categories of the visas.
No,
She's
she
done,
has
so we
done.
can proceed.
We are done with the working visa. We haven't finished yet. Though. There's a lot
Okay,
of the
okay,
visa
okay.
categories. Yeah. Number 2 いきましょ
2つ目はレジデンスステータスです。これは、ノーリミテッドジョブです。で、4 types あります。
う。Okay. Now the next one is the residence status. That one or status. We don't have any restrictions of work issue or working issues, and it has 4 different types of what visa. So now she's going to explain.
Okay.
先生お願いします。
1つ目は、パーマネント。これは日本にずっといたい人。
Okay, as we all know, the first one is the permanent visa. That one you can live here permanently. So we all understand. Permanent.
基本的にはベーシカリールールとしては10年以上日本に住んでいるとパーマネントビザをアプライすることができます。
Okay, for you to be able to apply for the permanent visa, you have to live in Japan live in Japan for 10 years. はい。
あとは、結婚ビザですね。日本人と結婚した場合には、spouse or Japanese national spouse ビザですね。あとは、永住者の配偶者等といってパーマネントの人と結婚した場合のスパウスビザです。
Okay. Okay. Now the next one is to have a Japanese spouse, married to a Japanese, or you have a Japanese child or something related to a Japanese. That one you can also stay in Japan. Hi. And also, the other one is to have a permanent person that you get married to.
で次は定住者です。ロングタームビザですね。
So the next visa type is long term visa.
はい。これは日本人のサードジェネレーションとか、あとステップチャイルド。
3世、日本人3世。
はい。ロングタームビザになります。
Okay. The long-term visas is special given to the third race Japanese nationals. But Sensei, I know a friend of mine. He has a long-term visa. So do I. An African.
それは多分離婚しちゃったりとか、あとスパウスが亡くなってパスタウェイした場合、その場合ウィローになりますよね。その時にロングタームビザをもらえる場合があります。
Oh, okay.
コンディションがありますから。
Okay. I was asking her about the long-term visa now because I know a Ghanaian friend who has the long-term visa and was trying to explain to us that maybe if you lose your partner, a Japanese partner, or you divorce and you are entitled to have, it depends on
the condition.
The condition.
So it doesn't mean that when you hear long term, it doesn't mean that someone who has stayed in Japan for a very long term. So for instance, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, or 10 years. So you qualify for that. So that's not what it means.
No.
It means that this particular type of visa was created for third generation Japanese people, like people who have Japanese ancestry, like maybe from South America or wherever, and then they qualify. And the other category, the person that you ask is very, very relevant because I know a Ghanaian, or I know 2 Ghanaians who hold their long-term residence here in Japan. And her answer is exactly on point. The two examples that she gave are on point, which means that Onda Sensei knows her job. She knows and understands her job. Because the first Ghanaian I know is a man who lost his wife 2 years ago, and then she was on the Japanese spousal visa, and because the wife died, he lost the visa, and he applied, and then they gave him the long-term residence, right? And the second one, this is a man I'm very close. I'm very close to in Japan. And the second case is a man who also is divorced or has divorced his wife, and he is also on the long-term residence visa. So the two answers or the two situations where you can have a long-term resident visa in Japan, under census answer is apt, correct, subarashi, excellent from the example.
Dr. Achiroku.
Don't forget, on this note, please, if you are watching us, you're a foreigner and you're watching us in Japan or anywhere across the world, and you have any immigration challenge, especially if you are in Japan, you are in Tokyo, Osaka, please do well to contact the office of Madam Onda Sensei for all your immigration challenges that you are having. Her office is at Edogawa Ku in Nishikasai in Tokyo. So as we go on, we will put her office contact details on the screen so that you can contact her. She's walking us through the various visa categories that are in Japan. And what some of the interesting facts that she's given us, she's told that there are 18 types of different visas in Japan. She's explained to us about the new seed capital policy that has taken effect from October 2025 if you want to open a business in Japan. She's also now explained to us that long-term visa doesn't mean that someone who has stayed in Japan for a long time, so you qualify for it. It is for specifically designed for third generation Japanese people, or if you used to be a spouse of a Japanese national and the marriage has ended, or you have lost your Japanese partner, you qualify for that. So we are still continuing with our conversation with the renowned Japanese immigration law experts. Pope-san, back to you.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you so much. So, Sensei, 続きましょう。はい。
次は、そもそも仕事ができないビザっていうのがあります。
あ、そう。
はい。それがスチューデントビザです。あとディペンデントビザ。この2つがそもそも仕事はできないです。
Wow. Okay.
でもし仕事をしたいなら、資格外っていうのがあって、28 hours in a week だけ働けます。
Okay. The next visa types are for the students, right? And for the students' visa, you are not entitled to work. If you want to work, you need the Shikaku guy. That work permission that allow you to work for like 28 hours a week. So students and dependent visa, all those type of categories, you are not supposed to work. If you're going to work, you need that working permit. We call it Shikaku guy. If you have that, you can work, but 28 hours per week are your limited hours to work. But, okay. But Sensei, I don't understand. For example, you've got a working visa permit, and you have to work only 28 hours as a student. Or maybe, well, we'll come to that one, but in the students section, why should it be like only 28 hours a week for the students?
これは、一応スチューデントビザは勉強するっていうことが第一なので、もしフルタイムで働くと、勉強に支障があるよねっていうこと。あと、 扶養の範囲内っていうのがあって、
Mm.
扶養が日本だと130万ぐらいだったでしょ。
Mm.
それトータルすると 1週間28時間の、トータルの1年間の
Mm.
お給料って大体100万ちょっとなんですよ。だからそれに合わせてるっていうのはあります。ちょっとそれ説明するの難しいかもしれないけど、まあ勉強が主なのでっていうことです。
Hi. Well, the reason why if you have a student visa you cannot work as an ordinary person means you are here to study. So you have to study. Your education or your studying is number one priority. You are not here to work. So if you come here as a student, you have to student yourself, but not a worker yourself. And I asked her that why, and she was trying to explain that because you are a student, your priority being in Japan is studying. So you have to, do your studying, and then, but you need, life goes on. That is why they have the permit for working for 28 hours a week, so that you can have an amount of money so that you can also use it for something else. In Japan, we have something that a student need like Hyakusanjuman, 1.3 million yen money for that student to be able to move around, whether you are a foreigner or a Japanese. でしょ？これは
そうです。
一定ですよね。
大体そうですね。
So that is why the calculation they did out from that 1.3 million yen gives the hours of 28 hours so that they will get at least a million yen or something for them to be able to also do whatever they want to do. So that is why they have this visa category. 他は何かありますか？
あとディペンデントですか？
Dependent.
ディペンデントはファミリービザとよく言われてますけど、これは、ワーキングビザの人が使うビザです。ディペンデントだけみんなアプライすることはできないです。例えば日本でさっきの IT エンジニアの人が日本で働いてます、家族呼びたいです、奥さんと子供呼びたいですっていう時はこのディペンデントを使います。で、例えばパーマネントの人とか日本人の人がファミリーを呼びたいですって言った場合にはさっきのスパウスビザ、このスパウスビザを使います。ちょっとそこら辺がみんなコンフューズしてる。
Okay, the next one is the dependent visa. And the dependent visa, sometimes people get confused that dependent visa is a family visa. No, dependent visa is a working visa. If, for example, someone who has a permanent or invite somebody, that person become dependent or spouse. Dependent there.
Okay.
Spouse visa です。
A permanent person, when you invite somebody, you become a spouse. But dependent は
ワーキングビザの人。
ワーキングビザの人が誰か呼んできたときに、それからスチューデントが旦那さん呼んだりとか。
そうです、そうです。
So someone who has a working visa invites someone to Japan, that person is entitled to have that dependent visa. And the dependent visa, as we said from the beginning, your hours of working is only 28 hours. Whether you're a student or whatever, you are entitled to have 28 hours only for working. But if you are permanent or a Japanese spouse and you invite someone, that one is different. You become a spouse citizen or a spouse visa holder. That one you have no limit of working.
How about long-term visa holders?
Long-term visa
resident
holders.
ロングターンビザは例えばステップチャイルドを呼びたいとか、そういう時はロングターンビザになります。
Long term は働けるずっと。
働ける。
Long term, if you have the long term visa, you can work normally as a spouse or permanent person. Yeah.
Okay.
ロングタームとパーマネントの違いも説明しておきます。
She was going to explain the difference between the long term visa holder and the permanent visa holder.
Okay.
これはほとんど同じです、内容は。だけど一番違うところはパーマネントはリニューアルがないです。ずっと一緒。
Okay. The only difference between the permanent holder and the long-term holder is permanent, you don't need any
extension.
Renewal.
renewal. But long term, you need to renew your visa. How long is it? How
Okay.
many years?
1 year, 3 years, 5 years.
It depends on your
Depends
on
the
your
condition.
your situation, and then they give you. Okay, so the long term visa, we have a year, we have 3, and then we have 5 years sections. So it depends on your case, and then you might have a 5 year, or you have 3, or maybe 1. Yes. So on my list, I think this is what we have. So if you have any questions, we can ask Sensei, and then we have a free talk.
Okay, so we are transitioning into different areas of the immigration questions that we have. And don't forget that here you are still live here on Jafek Radio Extra. Please don't forget to like the video, put your comment in the comment section, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Today, we are having an engagement with a renowned Japanese immigration law expert, Onda Sensei, and she's taking us through a lot. The next question that I want to ask is it what are the conditions for someone to move from their current visa status in Japan? For instance, if you came into Japan with a particular visa and you come and you want to change, is it possible? Are the laws, are the immigration laws flexible for people to change their visa status from one visa to the other?
日本で例えば自分の持っているビザをチェンジしたいの。それってなんかやり方というかなんかありますか？
何のビザにチェンジしたいの？
俺も聞きたかったんですけどwhat type of, it depends on the visa that you are holding and what type of visa that you want to change.
Okay, so
For example,
so what it generally means is that the laws are flexible for you to be able to change your visa from one visa status to the other, but it depends on the type of visa that you are holding and what you want to change into, whether you qualify for it or not. That's
or
what
not.
she's trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is one area that is very very near and dear to my heart, the issue of refugees in Japan. So I want Onda Sensei to run us a little bit into the issues of refugee applicants in Japan. What is the history of the refugee application? Is this something that was, why was it established? Why is it that most Africans who come into Japan and apply for the refugee are rejected, and they have to go through what they call the administrative procedure and all that? And in such cases, what can persons who come to Japan, especially from Africa, to apply for the refugee status and they are refused, what can they do about it? If she can talk a little bit about that aspect or share a little bit with us.
わかった？
レフジーのこと？
なぜレフジーのことは日本はレフジー来たらちゃんと認めない、そしていろんなプロセスを通ってからちょびっとビザをあげるんですけれども、なぜそうなんですか？
日本は基本的に難民を受け入れないので、だからレフジーアプライというのは国際人権上アプライはすることができるけど、それをジャッジしてパーミッションもらうというのはなんかちょっと後ろ向きです。これはしょうがない。で、私はちょっと思うのは、アフリカの人たちは今エデュケーションがとっても上がってきていて、
ますね。はい。
すごく優秀な人材が多いと見てるんですね。で、その場合には、いわゆる難民で来るとか短期で来るとかいうよりも、もうそもそも COE でアプライして日本に来た方がチャンスはぐっと上がるし、でもしその方が日本に、長く日本で就労仕事した場合、10年以上経った場合にはパーマネントも申請できるし、将来が広がると思うんですよね。だからなるべく リクルートのなんてオープンにしてアフリカの人たちいい人材を受け入れられるような活動を増やした方がいいんじゃないかなって思います。
Well, Sensei is trying to tell us that Japan, since they don't accept refugees, even in the United Nations, they have said it several times. But what they do, they have a period of time that they defer you. But when the period comes and you are not able to change your visa status to a regular working visa or something, no matter who you are, you have to go back to wherever
Your
you're
country.
from, your country. But what Sensei thinks is that she says, especially we the Africans, our education background is very good and very educative. So it's better that we come as students, study, and then after 10 years, you are entitled to have your permanent visa. So you can switch from ordinary visa to the permanent, and then you'll be able to, do whatever you want to do. But she doesn't advise us to seek for asylum or something like that, because
Okay, so this one too is out of the legal scope. It's a topic of comment or her opinion. She can decide to talk about it or just ignore. Um, it has to do with her suggestion about education. Where most Africans, especially from the Anglophone countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, and those English-speaking countries. For instance, I'm a bachelor's degree holder, right? I hold a bachelor's degree. I'm interested in taking a program in master's degree in Japan, but the language barrier, right? We have very fewer Japanese universities offering master's degree programs in English. So that alone is a restriction. So what does she think about that? Does she think that the Japanese education system should be more expansive to welcome students from English speaking countries, that they don't have to come and then attend the Japanese language school for maybe a year or two to be able to understand the Japanese before they can go through the master's degree program or whichever level that they want to pursue the education? Because me sitting here, I honestly want to take a master's program in Japan, but I'm thinking about going to the Japanese language school for a year or two before I begin the process. For me, that's a bit serpentine, or like, so I don't know what she thinks about that.
はい。意味わかる？
ちょっと難しい。
Okay. 多くの外国人は、we talk for African people. 自分のエデュケーションバックグラウンドが持ってて、日本で例えばマスターズをやりたいとか勉強したいけれども言葉が壁になるわけ。でも英語で大学で英語でいろんな授業をやる大学が少ないわけなんです。先生はどう思いますか？そういう大学を増やすべきなのか、他の外国人も日本でいろんな勉強、マスターとか PhD とかできるために英語の授業とかを増やすべきだと思いますか？彼自身は今マスターをやりたいわけ。
増やすべきだと思うし、やってる方は少ないと思います。非常にないわけじゃないけど。で、これはとても恥ずかしいお話なんですけど、日本は英語教育がとても立ち遅れてまして、こんだけ経済が発達してても、本当に英語教育っていうのはかなり低いので、私たち中学校、小学校から英語を勉強してるんですけど、全然喋れないというのが実態で、そこはそれを今から大学でじゃあそれをやるかというと、そういうもう環境が日本にはあんまりないので、なかなか難しい、だからないわけじゃないけど、少ないですけど、英語教育をやってる大学はあります、少ないですけど。
Well, she's trying to say she also thinks that they have to have more universities that has English lessons so that foreign people can exceed their education or continue their education to their masters or PhD or any other level that they want to go. And Japan, she's so embarrassed to say that they don't have that much English schools here in Japan, and she hopes that in the future they can have more. How do we call it? Schools that have English sections that people can, foreign people can also come and enroll or
Explore,
like continue their
enroll.
education
Yeah.
here in Japan. Because in Japan, they started learning English from like middle school, ne? But yes, still the English education level is below international standard. So she hopes that in the future they have to increase that English universities or schools so that other people can also come and enroll or further their education in Japan. So she has answered your questions.
So today has been a really, really exciting conversation, a very, very revealing, educative conversation for all foreigners living in Japan. Personally, there are a lot of misconceptions that personally I had about the some of the Japanese immigration law that has been cleared, and I have been properly informed. I'm sure you also watching us from your homes in Japan or in Africa or anywhere in the world. If you're interested in moving to Japan, there are a lot of things that you've learned, how the Japanese immigration law or how different the Japanese immigration law is different from your country of origin. I'm sure you've had all this education thanks to the knowledge of the Japanese immigration law guru, Onda Sensei. She has been our special guest on this edition of the special program on Jafric Radio Extra, hosted by Popsa and co-moderated by good self Emmanuel Achekun. Onda Sensei has been our guest. Onda Sensei, arigato gozaimashita.
ありがとうございました。
Popsa. Until we come your way once again, this has been Jafric Radio Extra. Please don't forget to put your comment in the comment section and also subscribe to the channel. But before we wrap this thing up, before we wrap up, don't forget that if you have any immigration challenge, because I know that if you are living in Japan, you are a foreigner, you are an African living in Japan, most definitely you will have to engage the immigration office in Japan. And that you have nowhere to go than to visit the office of Madame Onda Sensei, and she is a legal guru. She's renowned in that space, and she's going to offer you all that you need. You can contact her office in Tokyo. Her office is at Edogawa-ku, Nishikasai. I don't know if I have a permission to put her office number, the one that I
Oh
have.
yes, you can do
You can,
that.
yeah. We can contact her on her telephone number 080-5422-9189. I repeat the number once again. It's going to be on your screen. 080-5422-9189. This is the contact number of Madame Onda Sensei. She is a Japanese immigration law guru. She's going to help you with all your immigration needs to make sure that you fall in line, because in this era of Madam Sana Takaichi, you have to be in line. You have to keep yourself in line in terms of your immigration activities in Japan. And the best place to go to is Madam Onda Sensei for all your needs, so that she can help you to legally stay in Japan. Because in the coming years, Japan has set a zero illegal residents or foreigners in Japan, and you don't want to be part of those illegal stayers in Japan. So the best place to go is the office of Madame Sensei
Madam
Onda.
Sensei.
Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. My name has always remained Emmanuel Acheko, and I did this with my boss, Popsa, and ably supported by Kweku. If you you are having any event in Japan and you want the best of coverage in terms of videography, photography, everything, editing, content management, please contact 2K Photos on all social media platforms and he will do that for you. Until we come your way once again, please stick to our channels. My name is Emmanuel Acheko. Thank you very much. Sayonara. Bye bye. Bye
Sayonara.
bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.